The Manufacturing Indaba is kicked off in Sandton today with a focus on localized production in Africa. The continent's home to 15% of the world's population and abundant resources, yet it only contributes around 3% to global manufacturing. For more now, we are bringing in our reporter Liabo Setho live from Sandton. Good afternoon, Liabo. Tell us a bit about topics that will likely top the agenda.
Hi Juliet, and good afternoon to our viewers at home. So the conference has already started. We're a couple of hours into it, and so far a lot of things that have been talked about is the contribution of the manufacturing sector to not only global GDP but continental GDP and also local GDP. As you know that in Africa it only makes for a very small contribution to continental GDP, yet in South Africa the picture is a little different at 13%, and some of the topics that are being held here upstairs from where I am is about the contribution of the sector, the headwinds that the sector faces, and the enablers of the sector, in which departments, which companies are trying to get the mining sector ahead. One of those companies is the CSIR, and they are researchers, and they do everything from research to robotics. And I just want to show you a little machine that we've been playing here with, Juliet, that Dr. Belinda Matebesi is busy operating right now. But I want to bring in Dr. Luyolo Mabhali to talk about, first of all, the work of the CSIR in relation to the manufacturing industry and how you are helping manufacturers to get ahead. Thank you and welcome to On Point.
Thank you, and thank you for welcoming me. As a CSIR, we see ourselves as a catalyst for the reindustrialization of the manufacturing sector within South Africa. We do this using our skills in science, engineering and technology. And within the manufacturing center itself, or the cluster itself, we're looking at implementing digital solutions and advanced 4IR technologies, such as additive manufacturing, robotic solutions like the robot you just saw, and AI, in order to advance and make the manufacturing plants more optimized.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why is it important at this juncture, right? I know that the world is evolving, and we're having things like artificial intelligence and these very robotics themselves. How do these help in terms of getting companies and countries ahead, and also what kind of technologies are now on the rise?
Okay, so the technologies help to make the companies much more optimized. So if you're looking for process optimization, for example, which reduces your cost of manufacturing parts, this type of technologies will help you. Some are helping for you to be able to monitor your plant remotely, so that you don't have to sit there and be able to see things later on once the damage has already been caused. Some of the trends is, for an example, on additive manufacturing, metal injection molding, which is some of the technologies we are developing within CSIR, putting in robotic solution, using AR and big data to be able to process some of the data and be able to get information from your instruments within the plants.
Yeah. What kind of, how have you seen businesses that employ these kind of technologies go ahead? Because remember, during the third industrial revolution, when we have not really come to the fourth, you know, we're talking about adapt or die. Are you seeing manufacturers really rushing into it, or do they still want automation and or manual labor, still want to do things quite manually?
I think the challenge within South Africa is that we still have a lot of these legacy type of companies which don't have that much of automation. However, we do 4IR assessments to see their readiness for implementation of the 4IR technologies. We take them through the process and also help them determine what type of technologies would be best for their particular plants. So in terms of general adoption, there are companies that are ahead of the curve, and there are some companies, legacy companies, that are still struggling. For an example, just a small, maybe MES system, so that they're able to see what is happening within the plant. Some of the smaller SMMEs are not able to afford some of these technologies. However, at CSIR, we do then produce some lighter versions of this so that we can assist them.
Yeah. I know that our viewers probably want to see this robot again. Can you please just explain to us what it is? What is it called? Does it have a name? These days you name these robots. Does it have a name, and what does it do?
Okay, this is a rover robot. It is a collaboration that is funded by the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. We are using it in collaboration with other universities such as Stellenbosch, University of Pretoria, to try and get our own people skilled in robotics and mechatronic type of solutions. What you see here is a platform that we co-develop with the universities. However, we do have industrial robots that we can implement to industries, and we make them bespoke depending on the company's needs.
Right, Dr. Mabhali, thank you so much. Juliet, as you can see, very nifty. I think it's coming at me. I hope they do have someone to help me in case I get hit. But this is where we are at, and we're seeing very interesting technologies, including this very one in front of us now. We're going to be spending the rest of the day here interacting with a lot of other stakeholders within the manufacturing sector, just to get to understand what is new, what is trending, what are they working towards.